Incorporation, and what a lot of people don't realize, Conservative Vice Lord Incorporation was a legitimate non-for-profit organization with a charter. And they were appealing to other branches throughout the city, Vice Lords, to emulate what they were doing on 16th Street. But a lot of those other branches didn't do that, and because the other branches was involved in a lot of street activities, brought heat on what they were doing. So we kind of like destroyed that with our behavior when we really look at it and get honest about it. Brought heat on them. Next click. This brother here on the left, that's the Art and Soul. This is where he did a lot of art. Young people learned about painting and art and all that. This brother here on the left, I can't think of his name right now, but he was the one behind all that. Even that mural they put on the wall over there on 16th and Lawndale, he was the one who painted that mural. All right? Next click. You going back. All right. Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Youth organization. No, click back. That clip in there is what I was talking about earlier. Youth organizations united, but the youth organization nationwide was coming together and emulating the same thing in their different states. And on the right is a clip about the police coming in, because Bobby was saying they keep peeping in, and then they just invited them in. So they have an open house, let them know what we're really doing in here, to build different relationships with the police. Next clip. And this is just a budget, an outline of a budget that they got from the Rockefeller Foundation. Next click. And Operation Bootstrap, again, the history with that is when the Marshall Fields and the Rockefellers and the Sears and Roebuck and the Western Electric came and they served what you call as the fiscal agent, where they pooled money together, and a lot of rich people like W. Clement Stone and Sammy Davis Jr. gave money to them to do what they needed to do. But they the ones that really managed the money, so they had to show receipts for everything they purchased, even with paying the rent. It was President Nixon at that time that passed a bill that said that any non-for-profit organization that do not have a 501c3, meaning you can't be tax exempt, could not receive government funds, nor could they receive monies from, philanthropic rich people. So what happened, a lot of that effort that the Vice Lords and the Stones and the disciples put in with this, they start shifting from them to groups like Operation Breadbasket at the time with Jesse Jackson and the Urban League, where there was the Vice Lords and the Stones and the disciples that gave them the manpower they needed to get the successes they wanted. And then once they got that, then the money shifted from the Vice Lords and the Stones and the disciples and built up those organizations. And if you notice the trend, that's when Singali, who was the spokesman for the Stones at the time, got locked up, and Fred Hampton got killed, and Jeff got sent away, and Bobby got trumped up with a murder charge. And so you see that trend there, man, and you can see a lot of that is happening right now today. History just repeating itself.
What's up, bro?
All right, give a click, next click. And this is just another outline of that bootstrap budget again. Next click. And that's a close-up picture of Fonzo, who stepped up and became over the nation, where the Pep decided he wanted to be a family man, and the brothers felt they needed to see the chief more, and Pep wasn't ready for it, so he became the man. Next click. And that's him there with some sisters in the African line showing off some of the pearl that they sold inside the African line. Next clip. And this is a campaign that a lot of people don't realize this. The Vice Lords was part of educating the black community about breast cancer, even back then. And that's one of the veins where they was passing out literature. They got a grant to educate the community on breast cancer and make referrals for black women that may have shown signs of black cancer where they can go and get treated at. Next clip. And this is inside the planning office. You can see the white guy on the left, David Dawley. A lot of guys don't want to accept this here, but David Dawley was one of the founders of Conservative Vice Lord Incorporation. We may not want to accept that, but he was one of the people that came from Washington, D.C., from the Trans Central organization to do a study on inner city black street gangs and met the viceroy, and when he finished that, he came back and helped them to organize and become a chartered organization. He's the one who wrote that book, A Nation of Lords, the autobiography of the viceroy. All right, and that's Alfonso at the desk and Bobby on the right sitting on the desk, and that's Cupid with his back to us. Next clip. And this is Sammy Davis Jr. He gave a lot of donations to the efforts of what they were doing in the community. Even in fact, when they were going out to do certain events, he would lend his limousine so they could get chauffeured around. Next clip. And this is when Viceroy was part of the Buck Billiken Day Parade. Some of you guys that was in St. Charles back then, remember they used to send the drum and bugle corps to the Buck Billiken Day Parade. We was heavily involved in a lot of things, but now as time went on, they done shunned black youth out of a lot of things, because when they destroyed that LSD movement and all what was going on back there, what they left is an attitude with the black community to never trust young black leadership in your community. This is why a lot of us today can't rise up like we can with our fullest potential, because of the mindset of a lot of people in the community about us. Next clip. This is a clothing drive. Yeah, they knew a lot of people in the community didn't have clothes before, and they started a clothing drive. Next clip. And again, that's inside the African line. You can hardly see that. Can you see George? Next clip. This is a young brother inside of Teen Town. Remember, see that old pop machine right there? I think Pops was a nipple back there. And that's a jukebox to his left where you play records at. Next clip. If you can see, that's just a list of all the programs that the viceroys have started, and it's kind of like a report they gave out showing what programs are in progress and need to support and what type of support. And they would discuss that in their meetings in that management office. Next clip. And again, that's some vice ladies in the parade. It's Buck Billiken Day Parade with their float. Next clip. And again, if you notice, there's red, gold, and blue Tams there. This is LSD marching downtown. When I say LSD, Lord Stones and Disciples uniting together. And it was at that time when they shut down over $80 million worth of construction site in this city because they wasn't hiring blacks on those construction sites. The University of Illinois at Chicago down on Halstead, UIC, that was one of the projects where the Italian white housewives protested the building of that university, and LSD came together and joined with the labor union and a few other people and won that, and believe it or not, they played a major role in building that university. Next clip. And again, these are brothers that's no longer here. The guy on the left at the top, that's Callaway, that's Cupid on the right. And a lot of y'all probably remember Mahdi, Jew boy. All right, that's him at the bottom when he was younger. Next clip. And a lot of y'all know that lady there. That's Mother Consuela York, and she was our mama. How many of y'all know a riot could be about to jump off, and when Mother y'all come on that boulevard, brother, stop what they doing. She made sure every brother in that jail got fed on Christmas. Yeah. You know, my wife, I'm proud that she's one of the ministers at Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church. She's here with us now. That's the lady that was on the door that was harassing y'all when y'all came in. Stand up and let her see you. That's the woman that kept me out the penitentiary the last day. All right, next clip. And we got George Davis. He was the last Don. You know, and one thing they all had in common, Bobby, Booney, David, you know, Jeff, they got along with different nations, man. They had that belief of bringing people together. They went into this opposition thing. Somehow that came later. But that's Boomsko. John Boone. Next clip. I couldn't find a better picture, Shawty. I was trying to get a better picture. For you young bucks, that's David Boston, that's King David. All right. A lot of guys I talked to, yeah, I know King David, yeah, he was a big old guy. Now, y'all know David wasn't no big, tall guy. Right? Like some guys think Jeff Ford is 6'5". Now, y'all know Jeff is short. Right? All right, but that's David Boston there. We got to give honor to those that one of our ancestors, Boone, David. Next clip. Ready? Okay, thanks for your time. All right.